Hello and welcome to the Juniper Vale. Today I'm going to do a reading on two missing people. Was looking for a specific spread that would help me to, I don't know, give us some information about missing people. And I found a blog and it's called Parsifal's Wheel, Tarot, and Astrology. And Parsifal has a few spreads on there in regards to missing people. Um, I will link the blog in the description. I'm going to be reading on William Neal McCasland and Monica Jacinto Reza. So, if you've not heard of these people, I will also place the articles that I got my information from in the description. William, who usually goes by Neil, he worked for Wright Patterson Air Force Base before his retirement. He went missing from his home about 3 weeks ago. Um, they don't know what happened to him yet. Um, there are a few interesting things about Neil that people have been bringing up, especially since he works for Wright Patterson Air Force Base, and that is where people say um, bodies of aliens have been stored, UFOs. He has worked with Tom DeLonge as a sort of somebody who helped him understand how the military works. Tom DeLonge is in Blink 182, and he's also interested in UFOs. He's made documentaries about that. Um, Neil did not work with him specifically on information about UFOs. He worked with him on information about how the military works. So he was like a military consultant. Um, what's interesting about Neil, besides the fact that they still been 3 weeks, he was home with his wife. His wife went out to for a medical appointment for about an hour. Um, there was a repairman at Neil's house that he had spoken to, and sometime between that time when his wife left for her medical appointment and she arrived home, Neil was missing. He was no longer there. He left behind his prescription glasses. I believe he left behind his phone, but he did take a weapon. I believe he had a revolver. Let's see. Let me just check. So he didn't take his phone and he didn't take his glasses, but he did take his wallet and other belongings like a gun and a backpack. And it seems that he left on foot. He is an avid hiker. There was some misconception about whether he has any medical issues that may cause some type of dementia. His wife has said that is not accurate. The workman who was there, the repairman who was there talking to him, said that Neil seemed to be in a brain fog at the time when he was talking to him. When his wife first reported him missing, which was about 3 hours after she came home after checking in with family and friends to see if they knew where he was. The police department did put out a silver alert with attention to possible medical conditions. They did sort of retract that later because there was he does may have some medical conditions, but the wife says it's not due to any type of like dementia. So, and another thing the wife said that I found interesting, she said there were rumors going around that he had a heated phone call with relatives. She said that never happened. And then another thing that came up, of course, is the whole UFO connection. And she said something a little odd to me, but I, I don't want to say that what she said was completely odd because I'm sure she's under a lot of stress. um, she posted a Facebook post, I believe it is. Yes. So this is not, we don't get to hear her voice. It's just something that she wrote. And she did say at the end, at this point, with absolutely no sign of him, maybe the best hypothesis is that aliens beamed him up to the mothership. However, no sightings of a mothership hovering above the Sandia Mountains has been reported. And when I first read that, I thought it was a little odd because it sounds a little, I don't want to say callous. Like, is she making a joke? Is she being sarcastic? I don't know. I can't tell because it was just written out. You don't actually hear her voice. I could my my impression after thinking about it for a while is that, her husband's been missing for 3 weeks. She's probably heard a lot of talk about UFOs. And I think she's frustrated. So perhaps she's being sarcastic, perhaps she's making a joke. It does seem a little weird, but we can't get that. We don't know what kind of impression to get from what she wrote because we didn't hear it in her voice. We didn't see her say it. We don't know her facial characteristics. We just see it written. And if I were her and my husband was missing for 3 weeks, I could imagine the stress that she's under and probably the annoyance of people if they're jumping straight to UFOs and she said that he doesn't have anything to do with UFOs, I could imagine her annoyance about that because that's probably what is in the news the most, that's the hook that will get people to read the article, right? So I don't think she meant anything. I don't think she meant anything odd about it. I think she's probably just under stress. Um, And then the other person I want to read on is an individual called Monica Reza. And she actually worked within the same department as um, William Neal McCasland. Let me get the details for you. She disappeared in June of 2025 in California while she was hiking in the Angeles National Forest. She was hiking with someone. She was trailing behind. That person had waved to her. She waved back, and then she wasn't seen again. And this, again, was June 2025. She still has not been found. Um, what's odd is, let's see. Of course, there's, the conspiracy theories are saying, their disappearances are tied to classified information or extraterrestrial research. Local officials have rejected those claims. Monica is, I'm trying to find her exact details. I believe she's an aerospace engineer. She herself, she's 60 years old. She's a small woman, only like 4'11". And she worked within the program that Neil McCasland oversaw the funding for. So I can't say that they knew each other. I don't know. I didn't find anything or any articles that said that. They just she happened to be an aerospace engineer in the same program that he oversaw the funding for. So connection, no connection, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is using Parsifal's The World of Hurt Missing Persons spread. I'm going to see if we can get some information about these two. So let me go over this information. Oh, let me go over the spread for you. So what's interesting about this spread is that there are 5 categories. There is an intentional absence, like running away. There is a coerced or captured absence. There is mentally feeble or disoriented, physically ill or injured, or buried, drowned, burned, or dumped. So that would be like foul play and concealment. What you do is you take the court cards. So, well, first you take a deck, you separate major arcana. You don't need the major arcana. This is all minor arcana. You separate the court cards from the rest of the minor arcana. So here I have the court cards, as you can see. here. And when you're talking about a male that's 25 or older, that's the king. Female 25 and older is the queen. The knight is a younger male, 25 or younger than 25. And the page is a younger female, younger than 25. Um, and then the court, I mean the rest of the minor arcana. These are going to be like our yes or no cards about are they alive? And this middle section here is yes or no, are they alive? This gives you the yes leaning cards in the tarot, the maybe cards, and the no leaning cards in the tarot. And then after that, you get an idea of if when they will be found. Wands talk about soon, swords talk about weeks, cups talk about months, and coins talk about years. And you can also use the element of the court cards to try to figure out exactly where they could be located. So, for example, that would be, let's see, that would be, say, for example, I think fire is talking about no, wands is talking about someplace hot, like the south, maybe, depending upon, of course, where you are. Swords is talking about cold, cups is wet, and coins is dry. So, for example, in the United States, hot, we may think of the South. Cold, we may think of the East. Wet could be a location in the West, right, Northwest. Uh, Coins is something dry. We may be thinking dirty, dusty. Could even be northern. Could be desert. Um, but that's considered more northern. No, we were, or you. I'm thinking you could probably even narrow it down to their area, right? Maybe if we're talking about wet, we're talking about a river, ocean, lake. I don't know. So we're gonna try this out, and we're gonna see what we get. The first thing that you do with this spread is, since, say, for example, we are using Neil. He is an older gentleman, so he would be a king card. What you do is you take the court cards and you start to lay them out until you get the king card. So if I lay it out, the first one is an intentional absence, like they ran away. If I don't get the king card there, then I move on to the next one. The next one is kidnapped, jailed. If I don't get a king card there, I'll move on to the next one, and so forth until I get the king card. So I'm going to just put this on the side. And again, all this information, and this is for entertainment purposes only, all the information where I did my research and I looked up the spread, I'll link in the description. The oddest thing about this, and let me know if you guys experience this or not, because I'm very curious. When I was trying to do my research, the links that came up for news organizations were like organizations I would never use. A lot of times they were things that I just don't particularly trust. And it was like the only options I was getting. And I'm like, is that because no one's covering this story that much? Is it because something's happening in the Google algorithm where certain news organizations are being favored? You know, I try to go for news organizations that are in the middle as much as possible. And it was like just doing a Google search was not going to bring me to that. So I thought that was interesting. Let me know if you have all had experiences like that as well. Shenanigans. Okay, so the king card, it doesn't matter which suit of the king card comes up. Any king card that comes up. Okay, so first is an intentional absence. No, because I got the queen. Next is coaxed, coerced, or captured. So, for example, somebody was taken, lured away, kidnapped, or jailed. No, I got the page. Mentally feeble or disoriented. I got the knight, so no. Physically ill or injured. I got the queen, so no. I only have one left. Buried, drowned, burned, or dumped. Foul play and concealment. King. That's what I got the king with. So I got the king in the category of buried, drowned, burned, or dumped. So this talks about foul play and concealment. For this is for William Neal McCasland. McCasland. And with this, I get cups. So that brings me to water. I don't know if there's much water where he is. Let me check where their home is. I believe it's in the southwest. Let me check another site. I'm trying to get the most up-to-date information for you all. I can't remember exactly where him and his wife are located. Albuquerque. So he's in Albuquerque, or at least that's where they live. They live in Albuquerque. So next, I'm going to pull from the minor arcana that aren't court cards. And the first thing I'm going to ask is he alive right now? So right at the second that I'm doing this reading, and this is March 18th, a Wednesday. It is 4:33 p.m. Eastern Time. Is Neil alive? All right, so I have the Three of Pentacles. When I look on here, the Three of Pentacles says yes. So this is a yes leaning card. It's saying that he is still alive. He's been gone for 3 weeks. He's still alive. So when will he be found? So the next card I pull is asking, when will he be found? So this is a 5, and it is the cups. So this is saying in 5 months he'll be found. So this is how that the spread works. And I think from this, from what we get here, we can probably pull more cards to get more information. I'm only on a lunch break, so I don't know if I have the time to pull more cards, but we'll make note of this. So we're saying he's somewhere in the water, but this is deceased, right? This bin or this row from the column means deceased, but then this says he's still alive now. So this could be saying that he will be found deceased at some point. There is, or it could just be saying that there was some foul play. He is being concealed, and he's somewhere near water. So we'll see. I guess in the future what happens. But this is saying it's going to be 5 months before he's found. So let's try this again with Monica. Now, Monica's been missing for much longer of a time, since June of 2025. So I'm very curious to see what the cards will say regarding that, especially about being found. I guess technically when you're doing the time, you're doing it from this point in time right now of when you're pulling the cards, not from the point of time of when they went missing. This is a new spread for me, so there's a lot more detail about this spread on the blog site. So of course, please look that up. And I'm probably going to do longer form videos on the two people, taking into account the cards we pull today. But I just don't have the time right now to go into greater detail. Maybe later tonight I'll be able to. This is very interesting. I just hope everything turns out okay, but it's hard with missing people. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with Monica. Monica would be a queen. So I'm going to do some more shuffling just to try to, oops, get as much change as possible here. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. All right. So we're looking for where the queen comes up. First category, intentional absence. Queen. So she came up for intentional absence, and I got the cups again. So intentional absence is like running away or hiding. Somebody is escaping something, which is very interesting considering the conspiracy theories are saying that they may know something about the work they've done that people don't want out. Some people say this has to do with UFOs. I'm sure they had some types of security clearances, so it's, I'm sure there's a lot of things that they knew. It doesn't have to do with UFOs, but who knows? So this is saying that she left intentionally. She's running away from something. She's in hiding. So that's interesting. And again, I don't know if Monica and Neil knew each other at all. They could have just happened to be working within the same research area, but I don't know if they knew each other. All right, so now it says, is she going to be found alive? I have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles says maybe. That's a maybe card. So at this point in time, she might be found alive. Hmm. So, I mean, that would be saying to me that she is alive right now, but will they find her alive? Or no, this says now alive. Okay. So this column here, it says now alive. So it says maybe. That's interesting. So the cards are not clear whether she's alive right now. Interesting, interesting. Okay. Found when, how. So these are pentacles, and this is a 7. Pentacles talk about years. This is saying we won't know for 7 years what's happened. Again, this is wet. This is cups. She went missing in Los Angeles, or Angeles National Park. Believe that's in Los Angeles. Um, that would be more like a dry area. She was hiking. Were there any rivers? Did she use the river to make an escape of somehow or go missing? I don't know much about the person she was hiking with. If they were in the know about anything, or they're just like 1 second she's here, the next second she's not. So we should probably look into that a bit more too. Um, Pentacle. Let me look at the 7 of Pentacles is also a no leaning card. So these two together, it says maybe she's alive right now. This one next to it is kind of saying a no. This one, the Queen of Cups, is a Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is a Queen of Cups is a yes card. So this is all over the place. This is like yes, maybe no. So trying to put those two together, it seems very unclear of where she is and whether she'll be found alive. But it sounds like we won't get any info until like 7 years from now. All right, so I mean, this is a very interesting spread. Again, the links for everything will be in the description. I'm going to do a deeper dive on these when I get the time. Hopefully, starting tonight, I'll be able to start doing some deeper dives because this is very interesting. Definitely want to know if there's any connection. I know people have also brought up uh, Savannah Guthrie's mother as well, 'cause she went missing. It's all. I mean, people go missing a lot, so you know, there's because they happen to be in the news. I don't know. Is there a connection? Is there not a connection? I don't know. But yeah, I'll go into this in more detail. If you have any questions that you want me to look into, please put that in the comments section so that I can answer them in the other videos. That would be really helpful. You'll probably all come up with good questions better than what I might think of. Please like and subscribe and share so more people can see this new spread I found and try to get out the information about these two missing people as well. Yeah. So hopefully I will be back soon with another video and deeper detail. Thank you.